All right, go.
Today's video is how to take a U-tube, U-bend fixture, that's what's inside here, is a fluorescent U-bend tube, and we're going to convert this fixture to an LED U-bend fixture. We're going to reduce its wattage, its light wattage by half, and we're going to get rid of a hot ballast that runs here inside, so more energy sucking, and we're going to increase the light output. In some cases, we're going to increase it double. So one of the questions we get asked all the time is, can I do a T12 fixture? Here's a T12 fluorescent bulb. There's a lot of these old fixtures out there with this bulb in it with an old ballast, an old hot ballast. So we can do both T12 and a T8 size. So look at the difference here between the two. There's dramatic. And of course, if you have any questions, let us know. Now, before starting any project, there's a couple of safety things I'd like to bring up. Number one, shut off the breaker. You're going to shut off the power to the lighting circuit. You're going to take some red tape and put it across there. Lock the cabinet if you can. Turning this on while you're working and having the wires exposed will give you a very unpleasant surprise. You don't want that. We brought the tools here. I'm going to kind of go through them really quick. A voltage meter, wire stripper, wire cutter, a screwdriver, a flashlight. What's that for? And then we give you a kit. And our kit has the sockets already made up with the wire on them. In fact, we give you a little too much wire, so you have a little play in there in case you got to go somewhere with it. We give you a clip. The reason we bring you a clip is because some of the old T12 bulb fixtures, these old babies, they have a double clip in them that holds here. Well, the new T8 LED fixture, it's not going to work. So we have an optional clip. One more thing I want to tell you about the clip. Now, this clip won't work on a T12, but it'll work on the T8s. And when you get it, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that clip is too small, it'll never go on there. I'm going to just make a big mess. So I want to give you a little trick here. Just slightly bend it open. They're made tight on purpose at the factory. Don't go crazy. Just bend it open enough so you'll be able to slide that tube down inside this holder. It also has a screw in the bottom. So if your light fixture doesn't have a place to screw this in, drill a hole, grab a sheet metal screw, screw it in the fixture so you can support the tube. I'm going to have more on this in just a second. Now these sockets are special. They don't turn. Your 4-foot fluorescent fixture, the tube goes in the socket and twists. Remember that? In this case, the tube just drops in. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. Very different sockets. Take a look at our website of the sockets. We have a number of photos of them. You need to see all sides of this socket close up and the measurements to make sure it's going to work with your existing light fixture. We also include a little warning label. We're going to have that here in a minute. We'll put that in for you. And these are what we call WAGOs, and these are the wire connectors. Now, we only have in stock one size WAGO. This is a 5-port. In this light fixture, you're not going to need all 5 ports, so don't panic. We're going to show you that too. Don't forget the safety glasses. The tubes you're taking out are glass. They could break. You must wear safety glasses. You don't want shards of glass in your eyes. Screwdriver, wire cutters, wire strippers, and voltage meter. That's what we need to get this project started. I don't want to take any more time with the tools. So let's talk about the light fixture. This is an open light fixture. A lot of us in lighting call this an egg crate. And these little crate sections come in different spacing and different sizes. But again, there's no lens here. So it allows all the light come right through. These are supposed to reduce some of the glare. All the light fixtures in the drop ceiling, or every ceiling, have a way of opening. You kind of have to look at it. Now, when you shut the power off, you're going to be put in the dark. You must bring with you a work light. Here's a picture of one right here. This is the work light we use. You got to be able to see what you're doing. You sure don't want to work in a dark building. You can make mistakes and you can hurt yourself. So I'm going to talk about opening these light fixtures. Sometimes it's really hard to see the latches, and everybody makes something a little different. We always bring a little flashlight with us and look in all the edges of the light fixture to see if we can find the latches. In this one, it's pretty easy. They're little spring-loaded guys, and they're right here. And a lot of the light fixtures are made so when you open up the egg crate, it just hangs from the ceiling on a hinge. This one, we already took this off the hinges, so we could take this away so I could show you the inside of the light fixture. Now this fixture is a little dusty. You can see it here on the tube. We recommend that when you disassemble this, clean everything really good. It's really important. Let's talk about the fluorescent tube for just a second. Fluorescent tubes put light out in all directions. So that means there's light hitting the back of this light fixture and hopefully reflecting out. The new LED tubes don't work that way. The LED tubes put light out in one direction. So we got to make sure we get this tube in correctly. If it's upside down, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have all the light hitting the can and then trying to reflect out. We're going to take this light fixture. We've removed the egg carton or the lens. We've removed all that from the fixture. And we're going to remove the lamps. We put our safety glasses on. And they come out really easy. I'm going to just undo this clip right here. Just pull that up and just pull the light out. Up and out. They just snap out. No big deal at all. And repeat that over on this side. Pull it up off the clip. Take the light bulb out. Just pull it straight out. And now we have the glass fluorescents out of the light fixture. And I'm going to donate these to the people next door because they're still good. If they're no good, always dispose of your fluorescent bulbs properly and environmentally safe. Now let me give you a little tour of the fixture so far. Here's the clips that hold the top of the U-bend in, and they're just nutted in here. There's some extra holes in case this needs to move. You can always drill an extra hole, and we have that, like I said, we have an optional clip in case your light fixture has these, at 45 degrees from each other, because you don't want that. You want just one clip in the middle. In this fixture, we're good. We're good to go with the one clip. Down at this end, there's two sockets because the U-bend has two sides. Now, electrically speaking, when we do this, one socket's going to be dead and the other one's going to be hot because we're going to bring 120 volts into this fixture. And like I said earlier, we took this off the ceiling so the cameraman can get close and tight. The ballast is hiding under here. You don't need any tools to get to it. These tabs here are just holding this metal piece. If you just squeeze it together with your hands, like so, turn it sideways, you can take this piece right out of the light fixture. And underneath, you'll see we have a little ballast. It's a T8 ballast. We're going to remove the ballast completely, and we're going to rewire this light fixture for a LED tube. It's very, very easy. Now, if you notice, there's no ground here. The ground wire would come in from the ceiling and connect right here. I know I'm going to get a lot of email about this. People are going to get all excited. But like I said, we took this light fixture off the ceiling just for this demonstration. There should be a green wire coming here if this fixture is installed. You should always, always, always have your lighting fixtures grounded. It's not only a requirement by code, but it's a good safety practice. So let's go ahead and take the light fixture apart and see where we're going to go here. So we don't need any of this existing wiring. This is the wiring that was going to the T8 fluorescent tubes. And this is the wire coming in from the power source. And the white is neutral, and the black is hot. So the power's off. We've double checked that, and I'm just going to cut the wires because, like I said, I like to cut one at a time, by the way, just in case. Cut one, cut two here, pull them out, keep them separated. Now, we're not going to use any of this wiring. So it doesn't matter where you cut it or what it is. We're going to basically take this whole transformer out and completely get rid of it. This light fixture will not have this ballast transformer in it anymore. So go ahead and unscrew it. And again, it's just going to slide right out of there. It only has one screw holding it in. So we've removed the ballast. And I know it may sound a little strange to you, but I'm going to put the screw back in the light fixture, just in case somewhere, someday down the road, there's a new retrofit that takes you from LED to maybe a laser diode. So this side of the fixture is done. The second part of the fixture is down here where the sockets are. This gets a little more complicated. So I'm going to ask my cameraman to kind of zoom down here where the screw is. Different light fixtures have different configurations. This one just has a screw, and it releases the platform that all these sockets are attached to. So let's unscrew that, keep an eye on that screw, and we're going to just swing this whole piece out. And I'm going to try to let the cameraman get a really good shot. Here's where we cut the wires. Here's the little sockets. Notice these are push-in sockets, not like your 4-foot fluorescent tubes that go in and twist. U-bends can't twist because you can't flip the tube over. Let's look at the back side here. Here's the socket. It just slides into this plate. And if you notice, there's a couple of other points where it could slide into. So really look at what you have and make sure that our sockets are going to fit your light fixture. So there's the back of that light fixture socket, and here's ours. If you notice, they're grooved pretty much the same. and they both have push-ins. So it's a good idea that everything's going to work. Now, we're not going to take all of these away. We're actually going to keep 2 of these sockets because the light bulb, the T8 LED light bulb, runs on 120 volts. However, all this wire needs to go away. So we're going to disassemble this. I'm going to cut all the wire away. Aha, do you remember how it goes in? You better. You better take a picture of how this was set, because as you move all these parts around, there's a good chance you might forget. Trust me on this one. I've done it. So I'd leave one of them in, or maybe 2 of them in, and kind of work your way through. Or get a good picture on your camera phone of exactly how this was sitting inside this bracket bar. Really, really good point. When it comes to a conversion from a T12 T8 to an LED, everything is about the socket. Will our socket fit your light fixture? Good question. Because we're focusing on the sockets, I'm going to actually take this light fixture away in its condition, and I'm going to bring another light fixture, put it right here in the same spot. This one we got at the big box store, and it's obviously substandard, but you might have it in your ceiling and you're not about to disassemble your entire ceiling to make a simple retrofit. We're going to take the lens out because we wanted to show you inside this light fixture and how they have their sockets. Now, we weren't very impressed with any of this, but it still has the clips for the tubes, and they're in the right place. That's good. Has a cover over the ballast. Not machined is nice, but it still comes out fine. Here's the ballast on the inside, and that's going to get removed, and it's a brand we've never heard of. And down here are the sockets. And I want you to take a really good look at this socket versus the socket we just showed you in the slightly more expensive fixture. And the question is, will our socket fit this fixture? Let's take a look. So here they are. You can see they're smaller. They're not as well made. They're clipped in. But we think that you should be able to remove this. Oh, wait, let me show you something really important. See that little peg sticking in there? Okay, that goes up inside. We haven't been able to find any socket manufacturer in the US that actually has that. This is obviously from China. So I've pulled this socket out, the one that came with the fixture, and I'm going to see if our socket will fit in place. Remember I said it's grooved? There we go. It doesn't have the little pin to hold it in place. So it might be a little loose, and you might have to juggle it a little bit when you put this bar back in. But the process is still the same. So let's put them side by side here. Let's do the backs first. So here's the back of them. Notice how small theirs is and how robust ours is, but luckily it still fits. That's really important. Again, it's all about the sockets. Will our socket fit your fixture? If you have a question about that, take a picture. The better the picture, the more detail you send us, the better we'll know what you have. Send us a picture of the socket inside your light fixture, and we'll give you an idea if it'll work. Okay, so we're going to take this light fixture and put it back. We're going to change 2 sockets inside this light fixture, just 2, and I'll tell you why. Because the way this tube is made, we're going to put power in one side, and this side is dead. The only reason this side's here is to hold the tube inside the fixture. So the power is going to go in on this side. How do you know? The factory didn't label it. Now we are asking them to label our next series of tubes. Now be careful, and hopefully the cameraman can see this. If the tube is upside down, the back of it's this white, very opaque. If the tube is correct, the light's going to come out from this translucent side, and power's here on my left. Okay. Now, the other question we get a lot is, what's that thing? Well, I took it off that side. All this is a little cover to protect the pins during shipment. You can take the little cover off and throw it away. You're not going to need it. All right. Left side, label, opaque versus translucent. So the power is going to come on the left side. So let's spin this around and put it in the light fixture the way the power is coming in. I'll just hold it above. Power's here on that left side. So on this tube, the power's here on the left side. If you wire your socket with power down here, you will not get any light. If you put your tube in upside down, but you've wired your sockets correctly, you will not get any light. So I suggest before you sending an email saying your tube doesn't work, you might want to go back and just check a couple of these things out and make sure that the power's here, both the hot and the neutral. We're going to wire this up for you. So I'm going to put this aside and let's look at our little tray with our sockets in it. This is dead. Well, I'm going to take this and cut the wire off because we don't need it anymore. So don't need that one. I kind of like the fact the little wire is sticking out there so I know what it is. I know that this is the dead socket. And I'm going to take this other socket and I'm going to cut the wire off of it too. Kind of gives me an indication that that's the dead socket. I wanted to really show you the socket layout. See this hole here? It's not used for anything. The dead socket, it's going to go here. It's going to go in that spot. My new socket with the wiring on it, it's going to go up here. Okay, it's very important. Take your time. It's okay to take a black felt pen and write on this thing just a little bit before you start taking everything apart. I think that would be a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this tray back together. I'm going to use our wiring harness. Remember we talked about how these went in? Okay, that's wrong. That's right. Okay, so that's my, my dead end. That's the blank end. Here's the hot end. Let's slide that and see how that looks. Goes in the same way. There's the hot. Okay. And then down here we have the same arrangement. Remember the blue? So left end's, the left side of that tube is hot. This one doesn't get used. The right side is dead. Put that in here. All right, so that one's sitting in good. This doesn't need any wires coming to it at all because it's, well, dead. Here's that last hot, what we call the hot socket. I like putting them in from the back. So let's take a good look at what we got. We used our sockets that come pre-wired. We used this old socket from when this used to be a fluorescent fixture, another hot socket, the dead socket. So this little piece is ready to get installed back in the light fixture up on the ceiling. And we're going to dress these wires underneath this channel. And what's really nice is right here on the channel is a slot. See this? We're going to pull the wires through here. So as you see, I've made up the connectors inside the bar that holds them. I've run the wires through the little notch. You can tell that this is a much higher quality light fixture than we got at the home improvement store, but sometimes you have to work with what you have. So we're pretty happy with the little slot they provide. It's nice, safe edges there. It's not sharp. Let me show you the back side. See, the wires are just running through this little channel underneath. Again, hot, dead, hot, dead. It's important you get this right. And then again, neutral, hot, neutral, hot. So we have all of our wires. Really simple. I'm going to take this and put it back in the fixture right where it came from. There's a little slot down here. I'm going to ask the cameraman to kind of zoom into that. See that little slot? It's going to go right in there. Some of the fixtures are different. And I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to take the screw. Now there's a little play down here, which is kind of nice. You can move this thing back and forth a little bit. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down. But we are going to show you how we're going to make up our wires. And you're going to be really surprised at how simple this really is. Now, these wires come from the ceiling, from the circuit. These are the hot ones. And these are the light fixture wires. So I'm going to cut off some of this excess. We just don't need quite that much. Put it in the stripper, strip them all down, give some generous length, not too much. And I'm going to strip the wires coming in from the power supply in the ceiling. You have all your wires stripped. We talked about the color code of your wires. Now, in the little kit we send you, we have these Wagos. Really, really cool. Pull the Wagos out. Now there's also a little label in here. We're going to talk about that too here in just a second. So everything's stripped down. Now, the secret of this is the colors that are the same need to go together. If you take colors that aren't the same and connect them with, the black with the white, or the white with the black, you're going to have a dead short. The Wagos just push together. So put the wire in, firmly press the wire in, make sure it doesn't come back out on you. There's the two hot wires going to the sockets, and here's the hot wire coming from the ceiling. That's one side. Now let's do the other. You can see how simple this is. So I'm going to take the neutral side, put it in my Wago. It doesn't matter which side of the Wago you use. Just make sure they're in there really good. And I've done installations where I didn't strip them enough and they weren't making the proper contact on the inside. So there you go. We have the hot and the neutral wired together back into our sockets. We have 2 sockets that are going to supply power, and we have 2 sockets that are completely dead. Simple. Okay, we're going to kind of clean this up here a little bit. And I'm going to take that tray that I took out, I'm going to put it back, just like so. Turn it sideways a little bit, tuck everything underneath, push these down underneath these tabs, like so, on both sides, just squeeze it. And now we have a finished looking fixture. Get in here and clean this up really good. Now let's talk about putting the tubes in. We did learn something about this. We need the left side is hot. We know that when you flip it over, this is opaque. We also know that we're going to put it in this clip down here. And if we can't use the clips that are in the existing fixture, there's the optional clips. Now, I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to line it up with my sockets and my clip. And I'm going to stop talking because I want you to hear something. I'm going to push these down, and you're going to hear them snap. Now I'm going to do this side. And it's in. Got one more to do. Again, I've taken the guards off the ends. I'm going to lay it in here. I'm just going to push these down. You're going to hear them snap. Better snap this time. It's important you hear that snap, because if you don't hear that snap, you don't have power coming into those tubes. So that's all that's to it. We're going to power it up now and see if we did a good job. So here's the light fixture. Here's the power coming on. And you notice one side works beautifully. The other side doesn't. Can you spot the problem? Well, I'm going to shut the power back off. I'm going to go looking for the problem. So we've shut the circuit breaker back off. I've climbed up back that ladder, and wait a minute, it's pretty obvious. The opaque side is facing down. This translucent side is correct. So it's backwards. Very easy mistake to make. Check everything, don't make assumptions. So I'm going to take the tube out. I'm going to simply turn it around, because we talked about hot is over here on the left side. I'm going to put it back in the light fixture, like so. I'm going to listen for that snap. Check it all. And I'm going to go back to the circuit breaker panel, send power to the light fixture, and see if we've made it a little better this time. I guess we have. So now we have a very intensely bright LED light fixture, and in some cases, double the power of a T12. We believe that all the light fixtures should have warning labels once they've been modified like this. So we supply you a little warning level. We like to put it down here near the power, and it just says warning, this fixture's been modified. And we get a lot of calls about this. Well, what happens if someone puts an old fluorescent tube in here? Are we going to have an explosion and a fire? No, you won't. If you put a fluorescent tube in this light fixture and run 120 volts to it, there's a little capacitor inside that will blow and stop the tube from exploding. You will ruin the tube, however. That's why we recommend the labels. So thanks for watching our video on how to retrofit a U-bend fluorescent fixture to a new LED, super high efficiency energy saving fixture. Hope you enjoyed the video. We have a number of videos on our website that deal with LED retrofits. We can retrofit your 4-foot fixtures with your 4-foot fluorescent T8 or T12 tubes. You know, when you're all done with your light fixture, make sure you put either your lens on it or your egg crate. Make sure it's snapped in properly so it doesn't fall on anybody. And you're good to go. Have a great day. We'll see you again at the next video.
At Total Lighting Supply, we understand the importance of your time. Not everyone can be a lighting expert. We're not just about selling you light bulbs, light fixtures, and light components. We're also about helping you achieve amazing and successful lighting results in your space. We hope that our video series will assist you in achieving your lighting goals.